My dear student, today I am going to discuss about cube and cube roots, and today in this session I will discuss about cube of chapter 4. Actually, you know that in previous chapter you have already studied about the square, and what you have learned, a is multiplied by a, it is a square. In cubes, actually a is multiplied how many times? 3 times. Then it is known as a cube. If any natural number is multiplied 3 times, then it is known as cube of the number. A square means any number, any natural number is multiplied by itself. Whatever, in the case of cubes, it is multiplied 3 times. 3 times the same number. 2 is multiplied by 2 how many times? 3 times. Then it is called cube of 2. When 10 is multiplied by 10 3 times, then it is known as cubes of 10. Similarly, if any number is the form of x upon y and it is multiplied how many times? Actually it is multiplied 3 times. When x upon y multiplied by 3 times, then it is known as cubes. So cubes means means the multiplying of any natural number 3 times. 3 times you have to multiply. Some more example you can just take. 7 is multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7 3 times, then it is known as 7 cube. And one more thing you have to just notice that if any number is multiplied 3 times, then there is a matter of sign, because there are 2 types of sign, positive and negative. If you multiply any positive natural number is already positive, but if you discuss about the integers or rationals 3 times, because rational numbers may positive or negative, integer may positive or negative. In case of integers and rational numbers, if you multiply positive rational numbers 3 times, then result is the positive, because positive sign, it doesn't depend that any positive numbers is multiplied how many times. Whatever in the case of negative, it has a great meaning, because a negative rationals or a negative integer multiply odd number of times, then the result cannot be positive. Actually their result must be negative. For example, 7 multiplied 3 times. What is the sign of 7? Actually 7 I have just used, this is positive one. Whatever in the case of negative, if you multiply minus 7 with another minus 7 into minus 7, how many times? 3 times. Then what will be the result? The result must be the negative one minus this sign, minus 7 cube. And since 7 is multiplied 3 times, then its result must be negative. So when you multiply, then you get minus 343 due to 3 times it has been multiplied. What you have conclude? Actually you conclude that cube of a natural number is the natural number raised to the power 3. And what is the perfect cube? Any number is said to be perfect cube. Suppose that A is said to be perfect cube when it can be expressed in the form of B cube. For example, 1 is the perfect cube. Why? Because it can be expressed as 1 cube. Because you know very well that 1 is 1 into 1, result is the same, 1. 8 is the perfect cube. Why? Because 8 can be represented as 2 cube. You can just check that 8 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2, and its result is 2 cube. Similarly, you can just retain that 27 is the perfect cube. Why it is perfect cube? Because it can be expressed easily as the form of 3 raised to power 3. 64 is the perfect cube. Why? Because it can be written as 4 into 4 into 4 or 4 to the power cube. So any such number which can be expressed as the cube of any other number, then it is known as perfect cube. Actually, I have just written that Hardy-Ramanujan number. There is a beautiful story regarding Hardy-Ramanujan number. You know very well that Ramanujan is great Indian mathematician, was great Indian mathematician. Hardy is also the name of the mathematician. Once Hardy wants to meet Ramanujan, and when he reached at the residence of Ramanujan, then Ramanujan saw that the taxi number. Hardy came with the taxi with the number. The number of the taxi was 1729. And Ramanujan saw carefully the taxi number and just came an idea in his mind. And what was the idea? That he has just expressed this number as 1728 plus 1, or it can easily be expressed in the form of cube. And when you express in the form of cube, then actually it is 2n cube plus 1 cube. So this number, when a number is expressed as the sum of cubes of other two numbers, then this number is known as Hardy-Ramanujan number. And the smallest number was 1729, and that was the taxi number. And very interesting, since this number has been a special case has generated by Ramanujan in presence of Hardy, so it is known as Hardy-Ramanujan number. If you discuss about the problem based on cubes, are actually 4 different type of questions. First, it has been given some numbers and you have to find out is it cubes of any other numbers. Second type of the question in which you have to find out perfect cubes. Third type of the question has been given, what is the smallest number by which any number can be multiplied, and so the number has been converted into perfect cubes. And last type of question, it has been given that by what smallest number should be divided to get the perfect cubes. First 2 type of the question can you easily to find out is it perfect cubes, and you can just take the example. 64 has been given, and it is the question that you have to check that whether the perfect cubes or not. 64 by prime factorization method you can just do that. 232 260 2 you can just see that 64 can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. How many times? Actually 6 times. You can just see that how many times you have just multiplied. Make it clear, visible. Actually 6 times. And this is why it can be written as 2 cube into 2 cube, or simply you can write it as 4 cubes. Since it is in cubes, so 64 is known as perfect cubes. In case of 100, you can just check that when you do prime factorization of 100, then you get 2 into 2 into 5 into 5. It means 2 square into 5 square. Since it is not in the form of cube, since it is not formed in the cube, so 100 is not the perfect cubes. So you have to just write that it is not perfect cube. So my dear student, you have to just do the questions and you have to just do the factorization, and if it is the form of cube, all the numbers that you have just get, all the factors in the form of cubes can be represented, then it is known as perfect cube. Otherwise there is no chance to be perfect cubes. Now the question has been given, by what number should 128 be multiplied to get perfect cube? My dear student, you do prime factorization to solve such question. And you can just see that now 128 in the form of, if you retain as actually how many, you can just see that how many times 2 cube and what is left, 1 2 is left. And now you have just noticed that it is not a perfect cube because 1 2 is remaining. It is not in the form of cube. And how many number has been short? 1 2 is present, and to convert into cube you have to multiply by 2 more. 2 means product of 2 means 4. So 2 is multiplied by 4 to convert in the form of cube. So what is the final result? Actually final result is 128 should be multiplied by 4 to get perfect cube. Understood? So it is multiplied by 4 to get perfect cube. Next day I will discuss some more problems, and you have to study the definition and try to solve the questions. Thanks.